In the previous lessons, we looked at how we can install Python distribution in our local computer and how we can install libraries in Python ecosystems in our local computer, how we can use Terminal and Jupyter Notebook to get started programming with Python. In this lesson, we are going to look at Google Colab. Colab or Collaboratory allows you to write and execute Python in your browser. You don't need to configure anything like you did in the previous lesson. You can just get onto browser and start using the Collaboratory notebook environment. You can access CPU and GPU, also some TPU tensor processing units free of charge. You can easily share your code with others, and also your code and execution all will be in cloud unless you wanted to connect your local Python kernel. So don't worry about this if you are new to Python, if you are new to these terms, but think Colab is a simple browser-based environment. You can start coding with Python. You can read more about Google Colab and how to use it with a tutorial provided by their website, but in this lesson I'm going to guide you through the essentials you need to get started with Google Colab to do Python programming. In order to use Colab, you need to have a Google account. You have to either create one or log into your Google account before using it. So once you have it, you have to type the URL https://colab.research.google.com on your browser. Then you will land into the web page as shown in this slide. Once you have it, you can see the options available to you. You can see example collaboratory provided notebooks to get you explore the Colab environment. If you have some recent documents open in Colab, so you will see under recent tab, and Google Drive you can connect, and if you have something from Google Drive you can load it to your collaborative environment, and also you can connect your GitHub or upload your own notebook from the disk. So we will explore all of these options in a later slides. Once you hit cancel on the previous screen, you will land onto this page. This is a welcome notebook from Google Colab team. So this contains a tutorial and some useful instructions for you to get started with Colab. I would highly recommend you to refer to this one as well. In this lesson, I will guide you through 3 ways you can start working with Colab notebooks. First way is to create a new notebook and start working on it. Second, you can open a notebook from GitHub because we will be sharing some notebook examples via GitHub. Third, you can open a notebook stored in your local drive. You can simply upload it to Colab environment and start working on it. We will explore these things in the coming slides. Once you are on the landing page of Colab, you can create a new notebook using 2 different ways. First is create a new notebook hitting new notebook on the welcome page. Second is you can click file menu, new notebook, and then you will get into a new notebook open in your Colab environment. We will explore each and every item in this notebook environment, but let's look at one important part, which is the code cell you will be using to type your Python code and execute. Let's look into each item in the notebook environment in detail. First of all, you will have a notebook name. So untitled1.ipynb. ipynb we will be using as the extension for notebook. You have seen this in our previous lesson. You can change this notebook name anytime you want. You don't need to hit save, it will automatically save in the cloud. The second item is runtime menu. So in the runtime menu, you can select change or restart your runtime. If you think your runtime is messed up while executing the code, you can hit restart, and also you can clear all the output displayed on the notebook. In the right side, you will also see like item called RAM and disk. So that will display what are the computing resources you will be using, and how is your usage. That will also be important while you are executing something. Your RAM and disk usage is too high. You need to think like you are all using the resources allocated for you. Remember, this is a free service, therefore you have some limitations. There are many other things. We will look into them while we are working on the notebook examples, but I'm here in this slide. I'm going to highlight you most important ones. Then you will see on the left side, create new cells part. So you have plus code and plus text. If you click any of these, it will create a new cell for you. In the Colab environment, you have two different types of cells. First one is code cell. You also saw this in the previous slide. Code cells are used to type Python commands and execute. The second type of cells is text cell. In a text cell, you can type HTML or Markdown like text. You can have like a formatted text displayed on your notebook along with your code cells. In the bottom, you will see example text or Markdown cell. So I put the name Markdown because in a notebook environment, if you're using Jupyter, we call it a Markdown cell. So in Colab, we call it a text cell. So if you can use Markdown or HTML like I showed earlier. In the code cell, you can type any Python command, and then you can hit either arrow symbol onto the left side of the cell, or you can press Shift Enter as you do in a Jupyter Notebook. Immediately after you execute a code cell, you will see an output. The output from the execution of the code in that cell. It could be a text output, or it could be a plot or visual, as you expected from the code block. If you want to open a notebook, you can click Open Notebook. You will be prompted to provide a location where you want to open notebook from. In this example, we will see how you can open a notebook from GitHub. This is important because I will be sharing some notebooks via GitHub. You will be opening those notebooks directly from Colab if you want to use Colab environment. This is same as your welcome screen, but we are on the tab called GitHub. What you need to do is you have to provide the link to your GitHub notebook. I will provide them for the class notebooks I'm sharing with you. Once you provide this URL from GitHub, you can hit the search button, and then it will display a list of notebooks, or simply open this new notebook for you. Here is how you can do that. So when you provide the notebook link, so you will see either like another link to open the notebook, or in some situations, depending on the link type, whether you provide raw link or you provide the URL properly, it will open automatically for you. So once you open this notebook from GitHub or any other means, you will see the notebook loaded into your Colab environment. You can start working on it. You can also upload a notebook from your local drive. So you have to have .ipynb file stored in your drive, and you can hit the browse in the upload menu, and then select your file you need to upload, and simply upload as any other document you upload to a web page. Once you do that, you will see the notebook coming open in your Colab environment, and then you can use it right away. This is an example from the uploaded notebook. The uploaded notebook will be on Google Drive. So you will be opening basically a document from Google Drive using Colab. This is the end of the lessons on how you can use Google Colab for Python programming. You learn how you can use Google Colab Notebook to run your task in Python and see the output at the same time as you do in a Jupyter Notebook environment. You will receive a notebook link to download from GitHub and use with Google Colab. You can find it under Resources. Next, we will explore how you can use Visual Studio Code for Python programming. There, you will learn how you can use the notebook environment, as well as you can write Python scripts and execute within Visual Studio Code. Let's get started with it.